Imagine believing that humanity has misunderstood God for hundreds of years. What if the conflict between science and religion was never supposed to exist? What if many of today's arguments about God are actually arguments against ideas that thoughtful religious traditions never intended? In this series, we will explore The Case for God by Karen Armstrong, a journey through history, philosophy, and religion that challenges many common assumptions. Whether you believe in God, doubt religion, or are simply curious, this book invites you to look beyond slogans and ask deeper questions. Welcome to 360 Book Wisdom. Let's begin. Today, we're exploring one of the most thought-provoking books on religion and philosophy in recent decades, The Case for God, written by British author and historian of religion, Karen Armstrong. First published in 2009, the book examines how human ideas about God have developed over thousands of years and challenges many modern assumptions about faith, reason, and religious belief. Karen Armstrong was born in England and is widely recognized for her work on the history of the world's major religions. After spending several years as a Roman Catholic nun in her youth, she left religious life and devoted her career to studying religion from a historical, cultural, and comparative perspective. Rather than promoting one particular faith, Armstrong has spent decades examining how different civilizations have understood spiritual questions and the role of religion in human life. So, why did she write The Case for God? By the early 21st century, public debates about religion had become increasingly polarized. On one side were people who argued that scientific discoveries had made belief in God unnecessary. On the other side were those who defended religion by treating sacred texts as literal scientific or historical accounts. Armstrong believed that both sides were often talking past one another because they were using different ideas about what religion is meant to accomplish. She argues that many ancient religious traditions did not view God as an object that could be proved or disproved in the same way we test scientific theories. Instead, they often understood religious practice as a way of cultivating wisdom, compassion, self-discipline, and a deeper understanding of human existence. In her view, many modern debates overlook this historical perspective. Several developments also influenced the writing of this book. The rapid growth of scientific knowledge, the influence of Enlightenment thinking, increasing secularism in many societies, and renewed public discussions about religion all contributed to an environment in which questions about faith became more visible than ever. Armstrong wanted to place these debates within a much longer historical story, showing how ideas about God have changed across cultures and centuries. Rather than asking readers to accept a particular religious belief, The Case for God invites them to explore how people throughout history have wrestled with life's deepest questions. Whether you are religious, skeptical, or simply curious, the book encourages careful reflection on the relationship between faith, reason, history, and human experience. In this series, we'll examine the book chapter by chapter, exploring its central arguments, historical examples, and key ideas in clear and accessible language. Our goal is not to tell you what to believe, but to understand how one influential historian explains the long and fascinating evolution of humanity's search for the divine. Let's begin our journey with the first chapter. Chapter 1, Homo Religiosus, Humanity's Ancient Search for Meaning. Have you ever wondered why nearly every civilization in history has believed in something greater than itself? Long before modern science, governments, or written languages, human beings were asking profound questions. Why are we here? What happens after death? Is there a deeper purpose behind the universe? The opening chapter explores these timeless questions by looking back at our earliest ancestors. Archaeological discoveries suggest that prehistoric people buried their dead with care, created symbolic art, and performed rituals that went beyond the basic needs of survival. These practices hint that humans were not only concerned with staying alive, they were also searching for meaning. One important idea is that religion did not suddenly appear in one place or one moment. Instead, it seems to have developed gradually alongside human civilization. As people learned to cooperate, build communities, and create cultures, they also developed stories, symbols, ceremonies, and beliefs that helped them make sense of life's mysteries. From this perspective, religion was never simply about explaining natural events. It also offered comfort during loss, strengthened social bonds, inspired moral responsibility, and encouraged people to think beyond themselves. Across different cultures, spiritual traditions became a way of exploring questions that have no simple answers. The chapter also invites us to rethink how we view ancient people. It is easy to assume they were less intelligent because they lacked modern technology, but they possessed remarkable imagination and insight. Through myths, rituals, and symbols, they expressed ideas about existence that continue to influence human thought today. As we begin this journey, one question remains at the heart of the discussion. If the search for meaning has accompanied humanity since the earliest civilizations, what does that tell us about human nature? Whether we approach this question through religion, philosophy, or history, it reminds us that the desire to understand our place in the universe is one of the defining characteristics of being human. Chapter 2. Faith Beyond Mere Belief. When we hear the word faith today, many people immediately think of believing something without evidence. But has faith always meant that? Throughout history, different cultures have understood faith in ways that are far more complex than simply accepting a list of religious doctrines. In many ancient traditions, faith was closely connected with trust, commitment, and daily practice. Just as a close friendship grows through experience rather than through a written contract, faith was often seen as something that developed through living, learning, and personal transformation. It was less about winning an argument and more about shaping one's character. This historical perspective reminds us that people in the past often approached religion differently from how we imagine today. Instead of asking, "Can every spiritual claim be scientifically proven?" they were more likely to ask, "How should I live? How can I become wiser, kinder, and more compassionate?" Across civilizations, religious practices such as prayer, meditation, charity, reflection, and self-discipline were designed to cultivate inner growth. Whether in the monasteries of Europe, the temples of Asia, or the schools of the ancient Middle East, spiritual traditions emphasized habits that encouraged humility and self-examination. Of course, faith has also faced criticism. Many people worry that faith can discourage questioning or lead to blind acceptance. History shows that this concern has sometimes been justified. But it also shows that many influential religious thinkers encouraged honest inquiry and believed that sincere questions could deepen understanding rather than weaken it. Perhaps the most important lesson is that faith is not simply an intellectual conclusion. It has often been understood as a lifelong journey of learning, reflection, and personal growth. People may disagree about religious beliefs, but the search for meaning, purpose, and moral responsibility is something that connects humanity across cultures. As we continue our exploration, we'll see how another powerful force reason has shaped humanity's understanding of the world, and how these two ideas have interacted throughout history. Chapter 3. Reason, the human capacity to understand. Human beings have always relied on reason to solve problems, from building cities to exploring space. Our ability to think critically has transformed civilization. But an important question remains. Can reason answer every question that matters? Throughout history, philosophers and scholars have celebrated the power of logic and observation. Ancient thinkers developed systems of mathematics, ethics, and philosophy that still influence education today. Their work demonstrated that careful reasoning could reveal remarkable truths about nature, society, and human behavior. At the same time, many thinkers argued that reason has limits. While it can explain how planets move or how the human body functions, questions about beauty, love, morality, and the purpose of life often require reflection that extends beyond scientific measurement alone. Consider music. Science can describe sound waves, frequencies, and vibrations, but those measurements cannot fully explain why a particular melody moves someone to tears. Likewise, reason can analyze many aspects of human life without necessarily exhausting its deeper meanings. History also shows that reason and faith have not always been enemies. In different periods and cultures, scholars sought to combine careful thinking with spiritual reflection. They believed that intellectual curiosity and ethical living could support one another rather than compete. Modern society has benefited enormously from scientific reasoning. Advances in medicine, engineering, and technology have improved billions of lives. Yet scientific progress also raises ethical questions about how knowledge should be used. Those questions often require philosophical and moral reflection, alongside technical expertise. Perhaps the greatest lesson is that reason is one of humanity's most valuable tools, but, like every tool, it has a particular purpose. It excels at investigating the natural world, while questions about values, purpose, and meaning often invite broader forms of human reflection. Chapter 4. Silence. Listening beyond words. Modern life is filled with constant noise, notifications, conversations, advertisements, and endless streams of information compete for our attention every moment of the day. Yet across many cultures, silence has been regarded not as emptiness, but as a source of wisdom. For thousands of years, people have sought moments of quiet through meditation, contemplation, prayer, or simply spending time in nature. These practices were never merely about escaping the world. Instead, they created space for careful reflection, emotional balance, and deeper awareness. Silence can also remind us of the limits of language. Some experiences are difficult to describe with words alone. Think about standing beneath a sky full of stars, or witnessing a breathtaking sunrise. We can describe these moments, but descriptions rarely capture the full experience. Throughout history, many philosophers and spiritual teachers have suggested that the deepest realities of life may sometimes be approached through reflection rather than endless explanation. Modern psychology offers an interesting perspective as well. Research suggests that periods of quiet reflection can improve concentration, reduce stress, encourage creativity, and help people process complex emotions. In a fast-moving world, silence becomes an opportunity to pause and think more clearly. Importantly, silence does not mean avoiding questions or refusing discussion. Instead, it encourages thoughtful listening both to others and to ourselves. Many conflicts arise because people are eager to speak, but reluctant to understand. Silence creates room for patience, empathy, and careful judgment. Whether someone is religious or not, the practice of stepping away from constant distraction has lasting value. It allows us to examine our assumptions, appreciate different perspectives, and reconnect with what truly matters. Chapter 5. Faith and Reason, Partners or Rivals. For centuries, many people have believed that faith and reason stand on opposite sides of an endless debate. One represents belief, while the other represents logic. But is this conflict inevitable, or is it a misunderstanding that developed over time? History offers a more balanced picture. Some of the world's greatest philosophers and scholars believed that faith and reason could complement one another. They used reason to explore the natural world, while turning to philosophy and spirituality to reflect on questions of purpose, morality, and the meaning of life. Think of reason as a powerful microscope. It helps us understand how things work. Faith, in its broader historical sense, has often focused on why people seek meaning, hope, and ethical direction. These are different kinds of questions, and they may require different ways of thinking. Problems often arise when one approach is expected to answer every question. Science is exceptionally effective at explaining natural processes, while philosophy and spiritual traditions often explore values, purpose, and human experience. Ultimately, the discussion is not about choosing one over the other. It is about recognizing that human understanding can be enriched by both careful reasoning and thoughtful reflection. Together, they have shaped civilizations and continue to influence how people understand themselves and the world around them. Chapter 6. Scientific Religion. When faith meets modern science. The rise of modern science transformed humanity's understanding of the universe. Discoveries in astronomy, biology, and physics revealed a world governed by natural laws, leading many people to ask whether religion still had a place in the modern age. In response, different communities reacted in different ways. Some embraced scientific discoveries, while rethinking traditional interpretations. Others resisted change, believing that new ideas threatened long-held beliefs. This tension became one of the defining discussions of the modern era. It's important to remember that science and religion often ask different kinds of questions. Science investigates how the universe functions through observation and experimentation. Religion and philosophy have traditionally explored questions about meaning, morality, and human purpose. The challenge has never been simply choosing between science and faith. Rather, it has been learning how to understand the strengths and limits of each. As knowledge continues to expand, the conversation between scientific discovery and spiritual reflection remains one of the most fascinating dialogues in human history. Chapter 7. Enthusiasm. Throughout history, religious enthusiasm has inspired remarkable acts of courage, charity, and social reform. But it has also, at times, contributed to division and conflict when passion outweighed wisdom. This theme encourages us to recognize that deep conviction is most beneficial when it is guided by humility, compassion, and critical thinking, rather than intolerance or fanaticism. Chapter 8. Sympathy. Many spiritual traditions place compassion and empathy at the heart of a meaningful life. This theme highlights the importance of understanding others, showing kindness despite differences, and recognizing that genuine concern for fellow human beings is often a stronger foundation for peaceful societies than disagreement over beliefs alone. Chapter 9. Enlightenment, the Age of Reason. The Enlightenment was one of the most influential periods in human history. Beginning in the 17th and 18th centuries, many philosophers encouraged people to question tradition and rely more on observation, logic, and individual freedom. Scientific discoveries and new political ideas reshaped the way people viewed society, education, and religion. This period did not simply reject religion, rather, it challenged long-held assumptions and encouraged critical thinking. As reason became the foundation of many intellectual movements, people began to ask new questions about faith, authority, and the nature of truth. The Enlightenment permanently changed the modern world, opening the door to scientific progress, democratic ideals, and ongoing discussions about the relationship between reason and belief. Chapter 10: Atheism: Understanding a Different Perspective. As science advanced and societies became more secular, atheism gained greater visibility as a philosophical viewpoint. While disbelief in gods has existed in various forms throughout history, the modern era saw the emergence of thinkers who argued that religion was no longer necessary to explain the universe or guide human morality. Many critics of religion questioned whether belief in God was supported by sufficient evidence. Others argued that ethical values could be developed through reason, empathy, and shared human experience rather than through religious traditions. These ideas sparked intense debates that continue today in philosophy, science, and public life. At the same time, many religious scholars responded by emphasizing that faith and science address different kinds of questions. They argued that scientific discoveries explain the workings of the natural world, while religion has historically explored questions of meaning, purpose, and moral responsibility. Rather than viewing the two as permanent enemies, some thinkers suggested that each offers a different perspective on the human experience. Understanding atheism does not require accepting or rejecting it. Instead, it invites us to examine why different people reach different conclusions about life's biggest questions. Whether one believes in God, remains skeptical, or identifies as an atheist, thoughtful dialogue is strengthened by curiosity, respect, and a willingness to understand opposing viewpoints. As we move toward the final chapters, we'll explore how modern debates have reshaped religious thought and why the question of God continues to inspire discussion in the 21st century. Chapter 11: The Death of God. One of the most fascinating questions in modern intellectual history is whether belief in God has been disappearing. Over the past few centuries, scientific discoveries, technological progress, and rapid social change have transformed how people understand the world. As societies became more secular, many thinkers predicted that religion would gradually fade away. Yet history tells a more complicated story. Although participation in traditional religious institutions declined in some parts of the world, questions about purpose, morality, hope, and human identity never disappeared. Even in highly developed societies, millions of people continue searching for meaning in different ways. Some find it through religion, others through philosophy, science, art, or service to humanity. This reminds us that the debate has never been simply about whether God exists. It is also about what human beings seek from life. Why do we ask questions about justice? Why are we moved by beauty? Why do people sacrifice themselves for others? These questions continue to inspire discussion regardless of one's beliefs. Modern society has also shown that technological progress does not automatically solve humanity's deepest challenges. We have extraordinary scientific knowledge, yet we still struggle with war, loneliness, inequality, and ethical dilemmas. This has encouraged many philosophers and scholars to revisit questions that previous generations thought had already been settled. The expression, "the death of God," has therefore become more than a statement about religion. It symbolizes a broader discussion about changing values, cultural transformation, and humanity's ongoing search for meaning in an increasingly complex world. Whether one approaches these questions from a religious perspective, a secular worldview, or somewhere in between, the conversation remains remarkably relevant. It challenges us to think carefully about what gives life significance and how societies can build compassion, justice, and hope for future generations. Chapter 12: The Unknowable God. As we reach the conclusion of this journey, we encounter one final and profound question. Can the ultimate reality, whatever we call it, ever be completely understood by the human mind? Throughout history, many philosophers and spiritual teachers have suggested that there are limits to human knowledge. Our senses allow us to observe the physical universe, and our intellect enables us to analyze and explain countless phenomena. Yet some questions may extend beyond the reach of complete certainty. Think about the universe itself. Scientists continue to uncover extraordinary discoveries about space, time, and the origins of the cosmos. Every answer often leads to new questions, reminding us that knowledge is always expanding. In a similar way, many philosophical traditions have argued that the deepest mysteries of existence cannot be fully captured by language alone. This perspective encourages intellectual humility. Instead of claiming absolute certainty, it invites us to remain curious, to continue learning, and to respect the complexity of questions that have challenged humanity for thousands of years. An important lesson is that uncertainty should not always be viewed as weakness. Sometimes it becomes the beginning of genuine inquiry. Great scientific discoveries started with unanswered questions, and many philosophical traditions have likewise encouraged people to keep searching rather than assuming they already possess every answer. Whether someone believes in God, identifies as an atheist, or remains undecided, the willingness to explore life's deepest questions is part of what makes us human. Curiosity, critical thinking, empathy, and respectful dialogue allow people with different perspectives to learn from one another. What can we learn from the case for God? As we come to the end of this journey, one thing becomes clear. The Case for God is not simply a book about proving or disproving the existence of God. Instead, it is an invitation to understand how human beings have searched for meaning throughout history. Across thousands of years, civilizations have developed different beliefs, rituals, philosophies, and traditions in an effort to answer life's deepest questions. Who are we? Why do we exist? How should we treat one another? These questions have remained remarkably consistent, even as cultures and societies have changed. One of the most valuable lessons from this exploration is that history is often more complex than we assume. Ideas about faith, reason, science, and religion have never been completely fixed. They have evolved over time, shaped by changing cultures, intellectual movements, and historical events. Understanding this history allows us to appreciate why people hold different perspectives today. Another important takeaway is the value of intellectual humility. Whether we approach life through science, philosophy, religion, or a combination of these, no single perspective answers every question. Scientific inquiry has transformed our understanding of the physical universe, while philosophy and spiritual traditions continue to explore questions of purpose, ethics, and human experience. Rather than viewing these approaches as enemies, we can see them as different ways of exploring different aspects of reality. This journey also reminds us that respectful dialogue is more productive than hostility. Throughout history, societies have advanced when people were willing to listen, question, and learn from one another. Disagreement does not have to lead to division. Instead, it can become an opportunity for deeper understanding, and mutual respect. Perhaps the greatest message we can take from this book is that the search for truth is itself a meaningful part of being human. Curiosity, compassion, critical thinking, and a willingness to examine our own assumptions help us grow, regardless of the conclusions we eventually reach. Thank you for joining me throughout this series. I hope these discussions have encouraged you to think more deeply about history, philosophy, and the enduring questions that have fascinated humanity for centuries. If you enjoyed this book summary and analysis, don't forget to subscribe to 360 Book Wisdom, where we continue exploring timeless books that challenge our minds and broaden our understanding of the world. Until our next book, keep reading, keep asking thoughtful questions, and remember that every great journey of knowledge begins with the courage to learn.